Right on. That's nice sun. Just a usual morning here in Japan, of course. Sirens every 2 seconds. It's insane. Yeah, of course, this is just a test stream just to see kind of how things go. I want to make sure that it's all good for when I start actually finding interesting stuff around the place. Of course, I sound half blocked up because I am. So if anyone's there, type a comment so I can see whether it pops up on this, because I'm using software from my phone and seeing whether it works. That's Kanai Station here, Yokohama. I think I need to clean my lens. It's a little bit funky. Oh yeah, very bloomy. See, that makes it. That's better. No, it's not quite so smudgy. do. So it is pretty early in the morning right now. It's like what? God, not even 8. Here in Japan, nothing really opens until 11. Unless it's like, Cafe Gusto and whatnot. Hey, there we go. How many degrees is it here right now? It's actually not that bad. I think it was like, when I checked this morning, it was about 3 or 4 degrees Celsius, that is, real units. However, when we were in, because we were out in Kawaguchiko for the last couple of days, had a really, really cool hotel. It was a hotel that was also a rehearsal studio, recording studio, and live music venue. Like, it was awesome. Been around since the 80s. And out there, it was, it was like -2, -3 degrees. It was just a random snowstorm as well. Like, just a brief one, but we were up in, out near Lake Saikot. And while we were out there, it just randomly started snowing. Thankfully, after we just finishing visiting like a really interesting old village and that. And yeah, and then like this yesterday morning, before we left, look out the window of the hotel room, and there's Fuji just in all of its glory, absolutely like clear as anything view. It was great. Watching Brad on the Roku. Yeah, well, actually, I actually got some video and some photos of it and that, so I want to do like a video on it, because honestly, it was really cool. The people that own it are absolutely lovely, really, really, really nice people. So they've been running it since 1983. They've had a lot of like, a lot of bands come through, a lot of people checked it out, like Japanese touring bands that will come by and they like stay there and they rehearse and do that. Like they even had like ex-Japan go through their baby metal when they were kind of like starting out and whatnot. And inside there's like you walk in main foyer area and then there's like 2 hallways, and along both of them are like the sort of the standard cardboard placards with like signatures and designs like going all the way back to the 80s, photos of bands that have come through, and it was just so cool. Look, it's not a fancy hotel by any stretch of the means. It's rather sort of basic in how it was, but it was cool. And the view, like legit, I looked out the window of the hotel, of our room, and it was just an unobstructed view of Fuji. It was like amazing. Why, thank you. The picture quality is excellent because right now I'm using Prism Live and on technically Wi-Fi, which means I can stream 4K at 1080. And yeah, I've got a pocket Wi-Fi running on 4G here, which is nice. Yeah, this is Yokohama. It's kind of cool. Down there, of course, we've got some stuff. Kind of trying to figure breakfast out. Mrs. is asleep. Oh, Koreatown down there. Nice. My hands are freezing. Oh. So yeah, Brad's over on his thing doing his repairs and that I saw this morning. But I just wanted to jump on so I could test because I got to set it all up and then I'll go back and listen to the audio quality and all that kind of stuff. How is the audio quality? Let me know. Let me know how it is because I'm currently using the DJI mic strapped to my bag. I've got a little dead cat on there, which is pretty cool. Let's go down that way. Straighten up. There we go. But yeah, you get like places for breakfast like this. So like these are your typical sort of like chain restaurant type things, coffee, cafe joints. If you're expecting like Western style breakfast or food, you can kind of get it, but it is still a very Japanese take on it. Like, for example, you go to Cafe Gusto and you get like a breakfast set for like 500 yen, $5 Australian or like $3.50 US. And you get you get like scrambled eggs, toast, bacon and sausage, I say. But the bacon is like this little teeny tiny piece, and it's not like either like American, Australian, or British style bacon. Oh, that's loud. And yeah, it is it's interesting, but like the price is cheap, but it still tastes good. Don't be afraid to go. Don't be afraid to go to places that are kind of a bit different. Everyone comes here and they go, I want ramen, I want this, I want that. But it's like you come here enough times and you start doing like what the locals do, which is going to the random places to do like the Westernish type cuisine, which is okay because it's cheap, it's good. Brad, Mark, Travis, everyone, howdy. Yeah, Yoshoku's great, love it. We were, speaking of last night, Mrs. and I got in because we came in from Kawaguchiko and went to their curry house Koko, which was really, really good. Like good sort of, Japanese curry, and you can add like spice to it and that. And like, I'm a dude who likes spice. I do, quite a lot. And when you look at like, for example, the menus here, right? Those are your different spice levels. Standard, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 through 10, 15, 20. I had 6 because, my namesake and all the rest of that. And like that one there was like, okay, I like this. It's a bit further than what I normally would have had. Man, I don't think I'd be able to survive like the 10 or the 15. Brad, you gentlemen. Yamazaki, see, I don't do whiskey. I can't, but maybe while I'm here I will, You and I, we can go grab a whiskey at a whiskey bar. Don't get thumbs up? Yes, of course. Thumbs up and the likes. So as discussed on Brad's stream the other day when he was talking about these things, look, it does actually work having to remind people. People don't automatically go, here's the like button, here's that, I'm gonna do it. So saying like and subscribe, it's a call to action. It's sales stuff. And it works, it really does. So while some of us may find it annoying, it does what it does. McDonald's. Yeah, I mean, Macca's here actually isn't that bad. And what's crazy is that it's actually a lot cheaper than Australia and like US and all the rest of that. But then again, a lot of things here are insanely cheap. The other night, the missus and I, out at the crazy hotel that we were staying at, we went to the izakaya next door. Really, really old school, run by a really lovely couple. Went in there and I had a big, massive ass beer and a mix of soda. The missus had 2 drinks as well. Stack of food, like we had like a bunch of yakitori, some karage, obviously. Had some squid. What else do we have? Agadashi tofu, a couple other things, and all up for both of us. Enough food and booze to go crazy. It was like 5万円. Oh wait, 5万900円. So like 5,900 yen. So like less than $60. Thank you much, Lee Lyle. I tell you, but that's the thing. Like, there is so much stuff here that even I'm sure you would love and enjoy. Yeah, there's a wonderful mix of things. It's excellent. Here we go. This place here, Donkey. If you're not familiar with it, it's like a shop of everything. There is just like so much stuff that goes in there. Food, drink, clothing, sex toys, everything. It's all in there. Wait, did I just read Ted's hiragana? Yes. I can read hiragana, katakana. I know some limited kanji. I can string together very, very basic sentences. I know enough like radicals of kanji and bits and pieces that I can look at them and kind of ascertain meaning in some of the more common ones. Like there's a whole thing, right, where you got N1 through N5, which is your JLPT levels, right? So N1 is your crazy one, N5 is like your most basic. And there's a joke that goes around amongst a bunch of expats and stuff that live here, where it's like speaking of the dude who's confident about coming over here and finding a woman, and he's N7 vocab, so he's like that bad. Hopefully they have a Yamaha shop where you can browse motorbikes, pianos, saxophones, and 7.1 surround hi-fi systems. Not possible. So Yamaha Corporation. Yamaha Corporation originally was one with the Motors division. However, they did separate decades ago. So now you got Yamaha Motors Corporation and Yamaha Corporation. So Yamaha Corporation does pianos, musical instruments, AV, semiconductor stuff. A lot less of it these days. I think they sold off that division, if I remember, maybe. So they sold that off, and then the Motors division came thing. However, they own shares in each other. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like Yamaha is the good guy of musical audio and various other tech. So for example, Yamaha, big corporation, did all that kind of stuff. Kawai pianos came out of that because the gentleman who started Kawai, Mr. Kawai-san, went off and learnt piano building and that from Mr. Yamaba himself. Went off, started Kawai pianos. Yamaha had relations with Korg, with how they did things, and Korg was little alley there. There's a lot of those. Korg was struggling in the 80s, like they were almost going out of business. So Yamaha invested in them, bought them, kept them as a separate company though. And what happened was that there was a lot of products that were made for Yamaha by Korg. So for example, like a lot of pedals were made by Korg for Yamaha, and you open up the inside and you see Korg KLM board number parts. And they kept running. So Korg eventually started getting more on top of things and started becoming more profitable again, and Yamaha allowed them to buy themselves back. So they basically separated, bought themselves back. When Sequential Circuits went out of business, the guys that made the Prophet and all the rest of that, Dave Smith's company, when they went out of business, Yamaha bought the assets and the name and kept on to them. And when Dave Smith set up Dave Smith's Instruments and started doing stuff there, they actually they gave him the name back. They gave him the trademark back and all the rest of that. Like, Yamaha are literally the good guys in the music industry. They're like the only ones I can really kind of say that about. I mean, obviously there's never simp for a corporation, but comparative to companies like, Dean and Gibson and DiMarzio, having dick waving contests and trying to sue each other, they do pretty cool. Yeah, Kmart Australia and Kmart US are two completely separate corporations. They were originally set up, obviously, here originally, but then it got sold off locally to, what was it? Back then it was prior to Coles Mile, something like that. Let's see, can I scroll? Oh, hey, I can't go through the messages here. All right. Da-ba-da-da. Damn lad, you're gonna run rings around me. Yeah. That's one of those things. It's like the modesty type thing. Someone says, "Oh, the moment you say something even vaguely Japanese to someone, you're gonna get Nihongo jozu," which is your Japanese is great. It's like it's just something that they say to everyone. Blah, blah, blah. McDonald's everywhere. They are everywhere, but then again, here in Japan, there's a lot of things that are everywhere. So, for example, this here, if I go up that way, this is Yoshinoya. Yoshinoya is the original, gyudon, beef bowl restaurant, going back over 100 years. They're everywhere, same as 7-Eleven. There's a Gusto. In the time we've been walking, we've gone past like 3 of them. Kitchen Origin, they do like bentos and stuff, so you go in there, you select your stuff, put them in a box. 7-Elevens, everywhere. Same with Lawson and Family Mart. Looks chilly still. Yes, it is. It is abnormally cold, actually. I mean, look, Japan has its foibles as well. There is some stuff here that is a bit kind of, how's it going? But yeah, like that whole thing of people wear a mask, people do that. It isn't so much about personal rights and that. Flip side of that is there are very few of those too. It's kind of weird. It's like this country is an equal part like oligopoly and libertarian fever dream. It's insane. There are so many things you can do that you don't need permissions for. You don't need permits. Buildings, for example, all these buildings, as long as you're in a zoned area, you're fine. You can build whatever. So there are houses next to factories, and it's easy. Olympus, yes, Olympus, oh boy. Maybe behind the 7-Elevens, yeah. Where exactly are we? We are in Yokohama, Kanai somewhere. Where are we now? I don't know, I've just been kind of walking. It's Koreatown way down that way. Yeah, we're somewhere. I don't know, I was just kind of like wandering around, trying to find food. Just kind of ranting and doing that kind of stuff. Jim, they have Lawson's. Yes, they do. So it's actually, what's kind of really interesting, right, is there's a lot of companies here in Japan that are vestigial remains of companies in the US that no longer exist. So Lawson, for example, they're one of the largest konbini chains here in Japan. Kind of like how we have Kmart still in Australia. Here you've got Lawson, you've got all kinds of things. And then you've got like companies that do stuff different here than they do overseas. So for example, Denny's, right? You get the whole joke about Denny's over in the US and eating there and all the rest of that. Here it's actually a reasonably priced, like family restaurant type thing. You go there if you want cheap food and it's kind of all right. They do a mixture of things. Yeah, what is it? Amazing how clean everything looks. I mean, yeah, but you look closer and there's a lot more stuff where it isn't very clean. So for example, you go out into the middle of nowhere or you drive out into some random areas, you'll just find abandoned buildings everywhere and dumped rubbish. It's kind of depressing. Huh. Okay, that's kind of cool. What is this? So this is some kind of memorial or something to someone. I assume some kind of performer. And there is a button here. Oh, hit the button and I'm going to assume it plays that up there between 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. That's pretty cool.
Hey,
はい。
あんたこう立って撮ってやるか写真これで。写真撮ってやろうか。あんたこう立って。
YouTube。
だから写真撮ってやるよ。あんたこう立ってて。一緒に俺がこうやって撮ってやる写真。いい？
はい。
No？
日本語の。
こう立てて俺がパチン。You understand?
So take photo. I don't know. Sideways piano, yes. Sideways piano indeed. Denny's is okay in the US, at least where I am. It's Waffle House that is a lesson in violence. Yeah, that's what happens when you have something open all the time and random people can go in there wherever. Map for where we are. Busted. No, see, that was good. Trust me, there are some people out there who will come along, orgy sons and whatnot, and they will be very, very unhappy, and they will let you know, which is kind of odd, for a place like Japan. Oh, right. So I thought that's what he was saying, but I didn't want to make any things. But yeah, that's what I was trying to explain, like currently YouTubing. Although it was actually, right, we were driving out towards Lake Cycle, right? And we were just we'd see a sign and we'd go, ooh, that's interesting, let's go down that way. And so we stopped off into this random side road because they had lava tubes there. Lava tubes are when lava flow comes down in a forest, the trees get caught up, they cool the lava almost immediately, making like a tube-like form. Because it's still so hot, the tree turns to ash and it leaves these big, massive like holes in the ground. So we stopped by and we checked out one of them. And so we checked out one of them, but there's this old guy there who we pulled up, we parked, and he was just getting up and leaving. And then he pulls back in and he's like, oh, hello, do you want to, do you know what this is? And he pointed to, there was at shrines and stuff like that, they have like a stage type thing, which is like for doing the festivals and matsuri and whatnot. And we're like, no, but it's kind of interesting. So he explained it to us, because this was at a shrine that was on the side of a really steep hill to the god of fighting. And they hold the matsuri there. And what was happening was, the town's getting older, people couldn't get up the hills. So about 20 years ago, they built this, stage thing down the bottom of the hill so they could hold the matsuri and all the proceedings there. And it was far easier to kind of get to. And I thought that was neat, so he gave us that. And then he took us through the forest area, showed us the tubes and explained kind of what was there. It was just a random, this is one of the first times we've had one of those typical things that you hear about on certain podcasts and YouTube channels about, some older people coming along and just randomly being really nice and showing some stuff. It was absolutely really cool. So that was nice. We got some photos, got some video there, and then we climbed up to the shrine. And yeah, it's just a shrine on the side of a really, really steep hill up top. Really quite cool. Well, an old friend of mine from youth learned a lot of Japanese by making Japanese airplane models. Oh yeah. There's a Gunpla. Learned to read the boxes there. I kind of learned it through just a mixture of things. I need to actually sit down and take it seriously. What I understand and what I can say and what I can do now is mostly just as a result of osmosis. Because of my particular type of, I don't know whether it's because of my autism or whether it's just because I was intelligent, I can pick up things quite quickly. So, words, phrases, stuff like that, languages if I try, and Japanese, similar kind of thing. So even whilst I've been here, I've been able to pick up some more bits and pieces and stuff, so. I learned more than half of my English just by associating English words with Portuguese subtitles. Yeah, and look, that is a valid way of learning a language, like immersion. I know one thing that they say, yeah, well, I know a lot of people learn languages, and even people who are just generally kind of interested in that kind of stuff, or professionals in the field say, if you watch something and you turn the subtitles off, you can learn even more as well, because then you're not so much reliant on the subtitles, but you're listening out for words. You're more actively listening and hearing things, and you're seeing it in the context of what's going on display. Hold him on. The old classic, watching anime with subtitles. Just got to make sure it's the right anime, so you don't end up speaking like a yokel, or learning sort of really, really bad kind of phrases that wouldn't actually be used in, day-to-day conversation. Oh look, another 7-Eleven. Wild. Dip-a-dip-a-doo. What? That's always a fun thing you got to look out for, as well as all the women on the mamacharis and whatnot. Here you go. Lesson for when you're in Japan. Lights flashing is the equivalent of, if you're in Australia, a red man flashing. Basically means if you're already crossing, keep going. If you haven't crossed, don't go. People here are a little bit more, pedantic about the rules and whatnot, and make sure you stay there and wait until the light goes green. Even if there's like no cars around and it's 3 in the morning, you'll still see people on the sides here crossing. However, what they'll do is they'll like walk 5 meters that way and cross that way, because then it's technically okay. Thank you. Hopefully the audio is fine, because what we got? Can I rotate that? There. Sweet. Wow. So yeah, so I got that thing going on me there. Sit on the bag. I look great, as always. 7-Eleven is now a Japanese company. Indeed it is. And in Australia, that means, they own all that, but they're still keeping it as like a franchise-based system. So it's one way of doing it, I suppose. There we go. Now, I want to lock it in place, thank you. Why is it not locking? I got a new gimbal. I'm still trying to get used to the modes on it. There's an up button. No. Oh, hey, I can do that. There we go. I would like you to keep parallel to the ground. Oh, I am not a sexy mofo. Maybe in my youth. That's because I was paid to be. Oh, man. Another thing way down that way. Walk on the left or right. Here in Yokohama. See, there we go. That's what I was talking about. Sometimes you get people who are just like, whatever, fuck the rules. But yeah, here in Yokohama, it's on the left. If you go down to Kansai, so Osaka and stuff like that, you walk on the right. The country kind of like has an east-west divide between them. So you've got, on one side of the country, 60 hertz power. On the other side, you've got 50 hertz, which means if you have a camera and you're going around shooting video, if you run one side to the other, you either have to change your frame rate from like 25 to 30 or 60 to 50, because if you don't, you get terrible banding. Like a screen door effect, rolling shutter, that type thing. Yeah, and that happens because of the 10 hertz difference or similar harmonic for that. Which is a real pain in the butt, but thankfully my camera and my phone and all that can change between different frame rates. Yeah, the 50-60 hertz thing really did, because you couldn't connect the two sides of the grid So when TEPCO lost connection and all the rest of that and shut down the Daiichi plant, it's the same as Texas and the US. In Texas, of course, you've got their completely isolated batshit grid. They don't want to connect to anyone else in the US. So the moment that you had something going on like the Texas snowstorms those years ago, you couldn't import power. There was no connection for it. Here in Japan, it's because you've got two incompatible power grids. It's a real pain in the ass. Yeah, yet again, me with my random knowledge of just too much stuff. But yeah, feel free to ask questions and all the rest of that. I'm here to answer them and do my things. Oh, there we go. That's how we go. Aha. There we go. 100 volt AC universal. I know that 100 volt thing is really annoying because it's just, yeah. The whole thing with that is you've also got such little like current carrying ability, I suppose, for a lot of things, but Japanese electricity is kind of dangerous. 220 rules, 220 plebeian, 240 kings. The thing with Japanese power as well is that there's no mandated earth neutral. Sorry, no mandated ground reference, no third pin. Nope. 100 volt across the entire country. However, Tokyo and similar is on 60 hertz, and over the other side, down towards Kansai and that, is on 50 hertz. So real pain in the ass. Right, there we go. Another random alley. Don't know if you're familiar with the shop Geek Inbox. No, I'm not familiar with many shops here because usually when I'm over I don't go to many shops. It's honestly mainly just going to like used goods stores and stuff like that, and Macari and all that kind of jazz. But I really think you should go there when they open if you have time. It's a bit away from the other stuff in Yokohama, but worth it. Yeah, let's see how I go. Guitar shop wa doku desu ka? And now it's 240 here, but when I was a kid it was 220, old habit. Yeah, Australia's always been 240. Now it's like almost 250. Just a base specialist store, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of those like very specific like specialist stores here. Like you can go into a shop and it's just acoustic guitars or just violins or just brass. It's insane. Like there was a obviously a synth store as well. Yeah, heaps of those. I need food. What do I want? What do I want? I want something. I want a bow bass. Not familiar with them. Test gear shops yet? I haven't been to one yet, however, I have seen many bits of test gear in some of the hard-offs that I've been to. Like so much. There was one there that had like a half dozen old trio scopes in there, which were quite nice. Oh yeah. Oh, thank God. This stuff here, nectar of the goddamn gods. Seriously, so good. So if you go to a vending machine, you've never been to one, all right? You see how those are reds underneath, right? Atakai. Atakai means hot, right? That tsumetai. Tsumetai means cold. Blue for cold, red for hot. These are hot. They're nice. Atelier Z. Good bass. I've seen a bunch of those over here while I've been here. All right, time for the magic, 100 yen coin. Oh, I got a headache. Why do I have a headache? Dr. Pepper. Yeah, heaps of Dr. Pepper over here. So much. I love Dr. Pepper. It's great. It sucks it's not available in Australia normally. You have to get it from like places that do imports and shit. Annoying as hell. 100 yen. Give me my Miraku Cocoa. Oh wait, no, Miraku Coffee. Oh, it's a coffee one. I thought it was the chocolate one. I had a brief moment of brain fart. Still, milk coffee, hot. How's it? Oh yeah, nice and warm. Oh, that's brilliant. There we go. Now swing this over. Bag can go there. Switch over. Camera. There we go. Y'all get to look at my face now. Might as well extend this upwards so I don't have to hold my arm up so much. Sloop. There we go. That is awesome indeed. There's that green tea that Ram Black always buys. I can't watch that guy. It's too cringe. His what's his incel style rants, let's put it that way. Are very, very cringe. Turn it back around. No. Nah. Nuclear heating or vending machine stays heated. They are connected to power and they've just got a heater inside there. So just keep them warm that way. Oh, that's good. That's good stuff. Nice and warm. I gotta find some food. He needs to delete that post. Yeah, but I mean the damage is kind of already done. Kinda what happens, you know. So yeah, so basically I am here in Yokohama for the next couple of days. From Yokohama we'll be going to Tokyo, so I'll be staying near Asakusa in a nice little sort of hotel there. From Asakusa we'll be going down to Osaka for a couple of days, staying near, of course, Dotonbori. Miss wants to go to Universal Studios Japan, so we'll be going there and dealing with that. That'll be fun. From that we're going up to Kyoto. So a really, really nice ryokan that I got a couple of days at there. Stupid expensive. Thank God for Qantas freaking flyer points. I had so many of them. Yeah, we got like the sort of premier room there. It's got the Rotenburo, so the outdoor bar, private one for us, right there in the mountains in Ohara. And we'll be going from there up to Sendai to grab a car, driving from Sendai up to Niigata, from Niigata down to Fukushima, Koriyama specifically, staying there because the missus wants to see the Miharu Takizakura. It's like 1,000-year-old cherry blossom tree, quite nice. And then from there going up to Sendai, and then, we go to Sendai, stay for a couple of days, then Niigata, then Fukushima, back up to Sendai, come back down to Tokyo, the missus flies out, and then I'm here for a week in Tokyo or wherever else I happen to go. That's when I meet up with old Brady boy there. We're going down to visit Yamaha, their Innovation Road, which is like their museum they have in Hamamatsu. So it's got like all of their old instruments and synths and stuff like that, and like an overview and a history of what's there. And there's stuff there you can actually play, which is cool. So you can play with the gear that's on display. Undoubtedly, we'll meet up and team up for a double stream event. We cross the streams. So we'll go out and do that. See what's there, show them around, undoubtedly get pissed. There was Wolfgang Puck self-heating espresso cans here, calcium oxide, but I think they got shut down. Those were neat. Yeah, we go to the Asian grocers and there's heaps and heaps of self-heating meals and that. Pull the string, away you go. If you go on the Shinkansen, like everyone has to first time you come, you go get the Ekiben, and some of them have the self-heating one. I had one previously, it was quite nice. It was a Gyutan one. There was a self-heating pull tab. It's pretty good, but I tend to find most Ekiben actually really mid. Like, rather just grab some other stuff, take on there. It's at least less dry and weird, and yeah. That's the sound of a Japanese crow. Absolutely wild. Although when we're at the airport in Sydney. There was an eatery there, which was by Wolfgang Puck. Potassium acetate, yeah. And then you've got all of the whatsies as well, like the hand warmers. Basically, the dirt packets, mix them together and they turn into warmth. And this is something that Japan has with Australia, which is unfortunate, which is gambling. That's the cue for people waiting to go into the pachinko place. Which is unfortunate. You know, gambling, not a fan of it. Don't like it. Bad enough running a business. That's a big enough gamble. No bins next to the tent. Oh my god. Bloody hell. How annoying. Normally there's a bin next door to the vending machine, but in this instance it looks as though there isn't. So I'm going to have to go drop it in the 7-Eleven. I might actually go in there and get some food too. Ah, you bastard. No. Oh, the Otani thing. It's like, oh yes, it's because he just happened to be... Come on, we all know this is going to end up with him probably being arrested because of insider gambling allegations, something like that. You know, it's there's something going on there. And yes, gambling is a tax on poverty, because that's what people like. They like to tax the poor people rather than, you know, let's go after the rich people and, you know, make it a little bit easier. Oh man. The thing I like about these ones is that they're not so much a, they're not like a coffee as such in a can. I'm kind of over the Japanese coffee in a can thing. Done it for enough years. But it's kind of like, it's a coffee flavored milk. The chocolate one is my favorite. Vanilla is pretty good. It's a good second. And strawberry is okay too. All right, let's switch cameras. Let's continue walking. I don't want to go in that far. Zhush that down. There we go. Nice. Switch hands. Off we go. Brad is playing his Front Munch strat. Yeah, I got to do something with my workshop telly. Either set fire to it or potentially repair it. One of the two. Okay. Oh, there we go. Bin. Ooh. Also, if you get peckish in that, this is actually really quite nice. Yeah. Got some others as well, so, you know, different sort of soups and stuff in cans, which is kind of cool. Encore. Like a red bean drink. What's that line for? That line is for the gambling den, pachinko hall. People want to go in and they want to gamble first thing in the morning. And a lot of them are open like 24 hours anyway, but they must have closed for cleaning or something, or I don't know, maybe there's a limited time promotion or something that's happening. Japanese do love queuing, and they love a lot of, like limited promotion. Everything is limited. You get something you find it's really cool, and then they're like, oh, sorry, it's only around for a little limited time. MSG Central, yes, but MSG is the flavor of God. It's good stuff. Ah, here's something else interesting as well you might see. All right. These are lucky boxes. You know, so you put in your money, yeah. In this case, you know, 1,000 yen, yeah. 1 cent. And you might get something out of it, but you can tell how old some of these things have been running around. Like, you know, oh yes, 3DS, ancient old iPod Touch, like that's like a 2nd gen or something photo there. But then it's side by side with like other things as well, like a camcorder. Like, seriously? Windows mix, half these products don't even really exist, but yeah, you put your money in there, it's basically another form of gambling. I hate queuing, I'll literally go home. Yeah. But then again, you're not very British, are you? Oh, the Brits do love a good queue, they do. Hello. Yeah, like for example, here's another example of like an abandoned building. God only knows what's going on in here. There's stuff growing inside. Literally cannot see boo diddly in there. Let's see if we zoom in. Anything? There's like stuff. Yeah, it's like, stay. It's just a random old building, just here, just kind of like vacant. Zero skill in pachinko, right? I mean, look, it's a game of chance, obviously, but there is some like technique behind it somewhat. Let's put it this way, it's more skill than a poker machine, less than playing poker. More random streets with more interesting stuff. Transit bar. Alright, cool. Famima. This is like a Lewis Rossman NYC real estate stream. Yeah, except I'm not going to complain about the state destroying my business, although that did happen. Nah. Unlike New York, it's kind of more interesting here as to how and why things happened. It's not because of like speculators or investors and that, it's because real estate has almost no value here. The land does, but the buildings generally don't. You buy a property and that, it's about the land. It's not about the premises. Ah, throat's all blocked. Let's go that way. Follow the train line again. No urine smell. Oh, no, man. Seriously. You go down some alleys and it smells like piss and puke. Contrary to popular belief, it's not like some magically ordered society where everything is all perfect. I mean, there's a reason why Shibuya Meltdown, that page exists. There is a lot, like a lot of that kind of stuff. A lot of drinking, a lot of people getting wasted, and, you know. It's not pleasant on that side of things. How is rent over there compared to wages? Depends on where you are. Japanese rents can be quite affordable. They can also be relatively insane. It's all through, you got to kind of look at it through the lens of what your expectations are versus what you're kind of used to. So if you're an American, you're probably thinking, I need big house, big space, big this, whatever. If you're an Australian, similar kind of concept, unless you're someone like me from the inner west, you don't mind somewhere a bit smaller. In certain neighborhoods of Tokyo and the likes, you'll spend like, you know, a couple of $100 a month for like a 1 LDK, which is 1 room, lounge room, dining room, kitchen combined type thing. Other areas you might spend a hell of a lot more and get something even smaller. The wages here are also quite small. That's a thing to consider too. Ah, yatai. Nice. This is what's cool. Yeah, cheap rent, but a lot of them are really crap places. Now this is kind of cool. So along here, right? These are all like little yatai stands. So food, drink, that kind of stuff. I need a yard to blow stuff up in and smoke meat. Plenty of places out here you can smoke meat in. But that's the thing as well. If you go out, like if you leave Tokyo, if you leave Osaka, and you head just a little bit out, maybe even like Saitama or something, not even that much further away, you can get more space. You can get more stuff. I don't want that, me personally. I like to be able to roll out of bed, walk down the street and go, oh, hey, cool, there's something interesting there. or public transport. I'm sick of having a car. I'm sick of having to drive around. I'm sick of having like a big space I have to clean and do yard and all that stuff. Nah, man, I'm over it. Yeah, little hand washy type station. Toilet. That's kind of cool. Might have to come back check these out tonight. Cheap lands equals low lands, tsunami zone. Yeah, I mean, somewhat, not always. The thing you got to remember as well is there's a reason why Japan has so many what they call akiya, right? Akiya are abandoned or like, you know, houses nobody kind of wants or maintains anymore. They're everywhere, all over the country, even in Tokyo, right? Because the property is worth nothing. And if no one's going to buy it, your kids don't want to inherit it, because if they do, they have to pay money to have the property demolished and something rebuilt on it, and that costs money. That's why you can buy a really, really massive, really nice place in somewhere like, for example, you know, Niigata or Fukushima, or like even like on the outskirts of Tokyo or whatnot, or even like here, like out towards like Chuo and whatnot. You can buy them for nothing. Like there's a couple of pages that the missus and I follow, which are like cheap places in Japan, because we want to move over here at some point. And yeah, there are places here you can buy with like next to no money, because they require work and all that. Obviously, you know, there's a lot behind it, but not all of it is just in like flood zones or stuff like that. It's just there are now more places and there are people coming in to buy them. They have the opposite problem to Australia. More property than they have people to go into them these days. Random bridge. Foreigners can own with no problems, correct? It is very easy to buy a property here in Japan versus overseas. You can just like walk in, go, hi, here's the cash, I'd like to buy this please, and you can get the keys that afternoon. Unlike in Australia or the US or stuff like that, where you've got to like go through this lawyer and solicitors and yada, yada, yada. You can literally just walk in, go, here's my cash, I would like to own that, thank you, bye-bye. Yeah, I see that. Norm from Tokyo Lens did the videos on. He actually did one recently because he's getting out of there now, because he wants to be closer to where he does more of the cafe stuff, if I remember correctly. But yeah, that place was kind of cool. But there's loads of those kinds of things. Like that was cool. Like he's actually still running that place. He's running it as a like a little hostel Airbnb type thing. So you can actually go up there and stay there at night. He's got his staff running it now. Yeah, look at these, like little hostels under the train tracks. That's kind of cool. What is this? Tiny's Living Hub, Tiny's Hostel, Paddlers Plus. Huh. Have you ever been down to Fukuoka? No, but I do want to go. Next trip that we come here, we're probably going to do the south side of Japan, so more like Shikoku and similar kind of stuff. So head down towards that way, go to like Nagasaki, go to just random places. I like being out in the middle of nowhere. I think it's the first time we've actually like stayed in Yokohama. We stopped by, did a day trip here one time when we were here. Before there was that arcade that everyone saw online. The one that everyone was like, oh, that's so cool, because it was based on that Kowloon walled city. We went there, it was cool. But that no longer exists anymore, unfortunately. COVID and various other factors, so it's bye-bye. Yeah, we're checking out Yokohama this time because we just wanted to see some interesting stuff. Go check out that big, massive Gundam before it closes up at the end of the month. Yeah, Norm's great. Yeah, I don't follow many Japanese YouTubers covering Japan. Little puppies, adorable. Yeah, don't really follow many like YouTubers who do Japan type stuff, because I find a lot of them boring or trite or like over the top and just, yeah, kind of dumb. But the ones I do like, obviously, you know, Tokyo Lens, Norm, he's brilliant. Abroad in Japan, you know, Chris Broad, he's always been good. Although his content recently has been a little bit kind of, I know it is very different now. It's not quite the same as what it was previously, which is unfortunate. Yeah, like they're kind of like the two main ones that I like. You know, what else was there? Paolo from Tokyo, he's kind of alright, a bit kind of like very typically YouTubery, but some interesting things. But when we came here for the first time, we spent a lot of time up in Tohoku because of videos that we saw from Chris, which was cool. My grandfather was the Yokohama U.S. high school principal back in the U.S. occupation of Japan. Right on. That's kind of cool. Ooh, here we see the rare mini stop. You got your top tier kombinis, your 7-Eleven, Family Mart, and Lawson. Then you got your B tiers, Yamazaki, Daily Yamazaki, mini stop. Those smaller ones. Yeah, tiny puppy. It's adorable. I keep saying I need to find food, but I haven't found food yet. I keep walking. I don't even know where I am anymore. Somewhere. So what time is it where you guys are over there? Because currently here it is, what is the time anyway? It's 9 a.m. here. Here we go, another prime example of like old grungy kind of, you know, old roller shutters and old buildings and that. Shiba Inu, yes, Shiba. There we go. Laboga alligator. Oh God, Laboga amps. I worked on a Mr. Hector years ago. I think it was a pain in the ass. 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. here. Nice. All right, so I might have to do something like this then, similar tomorrow morning. If y'all think that'd be cool, hit the like button. Go on, do it. Have a bit more of a plan of where I'll check out and what I'll do. Men's Shop Saito. Oh, hey. I managed to loop all the way back around to here. Nice. Cool. That was a fun little walk. Now to head back towards the hotel. Oh, I just noticed what that thing is. What on earth? Okay, it's like a... So there's an old, like, sculpture type thing here. I've got up top there. It's got like a carillon up there, a bunch of bells that have hammers inside of them. There goes. Go away. So zoom right in there. And yeah, so we got a little carillon. Probably plays when that doesn't sing. Neat. I wonder when or how that plays, or if it's just like doesn't work anymore. Just like prime example of something that was done in the past that's now just rot. Hit the piano button and run. Well, it won't. It probably doesn't turn on until that time. Like 10 a.m. Yeah. It's only 9. What the? Why are we stuck there now? Come on, wake up. Oi, Brad. I found the perfect place for you to get your hair done, mate. probably isn't going to see us because he's probably doing some other stuff, but yeah, y'all can remind him for it. Alrighty. Live Max Hotel. Yokohama, famous for a lot of Chinese restaurants, a lot of Chinese food around here. Yakiniku. There's like a yakiniku joint here. Just get your meat, get your vegetables, get your fish and all that jazz, and beer. Nice. So this looks to be a Korean style one. We have a lot of Korean barbecue joints back in Australia because we have a large, like really, really large Korean community, especially in Strathfield. Hotel Bali Bali. I did see that place when I was looking for accommodation, but I decided not to. So if ever you're in Japan and you're looking on, you're like, you know, wanting to stay somewhere like that, if you see somewhere that's listed short stay, it means you can go like for the hour or for a short period of time. It's a love hotel. You go in there, you have some fun, you do your thing. Oh, morning veggies and morning food, nice. Now this is where Japan kind of gets a bit odd, is that like fresh produce and that isn't cheap. It's actually quite expensive, like comparatively. So that's why a lot of people eat out or such, or they have pickled things like that, because, you know, it's not the cheapest. And a lot of things are also wrapped in a lot of plastic. Environmentally conscious type things that are less common. Yeah, for quicker, mate, yeah. Yeah, there are like some of those places that actually, they're not bad hotels and they're kind of cheap too. So you do go crash there. You can't, some of them you can book in advance, others you can't. Short stay, yes, short stay. Couple of hours. You know, let's be realistic, 10, 15 minutes tops. Eating out with a short stay, hells yeah. Yeah, for example, this is like how a Japanese construction site is. Very different to what we have over in Australia. Like they'll actually have like a noise meter on the outside as well to show if they go above a certain level. Do they at least change the sheets? Yes. Some of them are quite good. Some of them are, it depends. But kind of gone are the days of the classic, like over-the-top themed love hotels. They used to be a big thing back in the past. Nowadays, not so much. Now it's a bit more demure. There are fewer of them around. Still a lot, but not as many. College friend reported all her stays in Japan were short. Buddha. Nice. Yeah. Look, pachinko, pachinko, all the pachinko. Namco. So that want to be like an arcade game center thing. Hiroshima okonomiyaki. Nice. I do like Hiroshima style more than I like Kansai style, but that's just me. I have no idea what I'm going to do today. I'm going to find random things to do. Yeah, royalties for that kind of stuff. But then again, I mean, everything I've heard about working in like Japanese companies or similar things to that is that even on that side of things, you get so little, you kind of get screwed out of it. It's like the woman who did a lot of the classic Capcom music wasn't even credited in the games that because yeah, she was a woman. Whoa, pigeon. No, raven. Crow, that thing. You know, she got very little out of it, and a lot of like voice actors get absolutely screwed. Okay, another random little sculpture thing. Neat. That's kind of cool. This looks like it was done in 78 and then refurbed in 2021. Nice. Game companies are like that. Yep. Yeah. As the great, you know, Stephanie Sterling says, yeah, fuck Konami. Oh, hey, look, you can get fugu. Incredibly overrated. Fugu. The guy that invented the blue LEDs got next to nothing for it. Oh, he got even less than next to nothing for it. He got like, you know, the company treated him like shit. And in the end, he got like a bit of a payout from the lawsuit, but it wasn't a huge amount. Like literally, a lot of modern tech and things that we have these days would not be possible without the blue LED. And he cracked it. One man. Like that's wild. That's the kind of thing you normally hear about like back in like the early 20th century. Because it was like the systems were far simpler. This one guy managed to crack it. Does anime and seems to have a lot of disposable income to waste on audiophile power cords. Oh God. Every time I go to a hard off or anything like that and I see the cables there, I'm like, oh. Japanese audiophiles take it to a whole other level. What is fugu? Fugu is blowfish, pufferfish. You know, that classic episode of The Simpsons. I said fugumi. Poisonous. Poison, poison, poison. Ah, tasty fish. It's kind of like very, very bland, rubbery kind of thing. It's one of those things people want to have, like, you know, for the experience. Apparently, they've gotten to a point now with the fugu and the likes. They grow. They basically selectively bred them now to the point where there is so little of the trace toxin in them that even if someone accidentally does leave a little bit of the guts or something inside of it, that it won't immediately kill a person, which is nice. All these steps to second floor of buildings are different. Yeah, a lot of, look, we're used to in the West, right? If it's not on ground floor, it doesn't exist. Or if you're in a mall, maybe you go up floors. But in Japan, a lot of buildings do have like multiple businesses stacked on top of each other. And so you'll see signs on the outside for here's this business there and that one above it. You'll have like bars stacked on top of each other. Oh yeah, another thing as well, all right? If you're in Japan, before you come, go to your local chemist or drugstore, whatever you call it, get yourself some antacid, because oh my God, in Australia, I can go and get like some, Gaviscon chewable tablets or something for like $1.50 from the chemist for like a stick of a dozen of them. In Japan, a 6-pack of horrendous tasting, weird antacid type stuff that you have to get from a chemist was like $12. It's like, goddamn, man. So yeah, make sure you bring your own antacid when you come to Japan. It's not easy to get here. Also, painkillers. For some strange reason, all the ibuprofen and all the painkillers here have caffeine in it. Some people like, but also there's not much of it. It's hard to get. Bring a box of ibuprofen or paracetamol with you before you come get some antacid. What does that even mean? That was a terrible pun. You should feel bad about yourself. Oh, shoe shop, Ebishima. So that's like shoe shop, shoe chain everywhere. Of course, Uniqlo. I see business prospect there. There is a lot of business prospects here, surprisingly. Ergo my, wanting to move here at some point. Oh look, it's a T-Rex covered in jewelry. Wild. Drugs are very, very scarce, the fun kind. They are. I don't do anything like that, but they take it to a whole other level here, just how insanely restricted everything is. Importing of antacid. But oh right, yeah. Now if you tried to do that, dear Lord, it'd fuck you up real badly. What the? Okay. Random bronze statue. Okay. Cool. And it's another pachinko parlor. How is it? You need a brain to feel pain. Oh, you got a big old brain inside your head. It's very compartmentalized and focused on very, very specific tasks that you are very good at. But then the rest of it is just completely switched off, like me. What the? Oh, there's a street piano here. Cool. That's cool. When we were actually at this weird, well, not weird, I should say. When we were at this old village out in the mountains in Yamanashi, there was a piano inside an ancient, old house. It was a couple of 100 years old. How the hell did they get it up the mountain and then get it up this hill and then install it in this place? But there was a Yamaha grand piano in there. It was absolutely wild. Knew a guy who was DEA agent in Japan. Very quiet. Yeah. So, what are we planning on getting arrested for when I come over? Good question. Because most of the stuff that we do, we wouldn't even get arrested for. We can get pissed. We can do all the rest of that. You can literally pass out on the street and the cops don't care. As long as you don't as long as you're not annoying people, yeah. Yes, it is a little nipply out here. It's actually quite nice. It's actually quite nice this morning. A little bit of a cool breeze, nothing too crazy. My hand isn't frozen off my body. ABC. Jaywalking, yeah, actually, we'll get harassed for that somewhat. Yeah. The other thing as well is, being a foreigner, you will just randomly sometimes get stopped. It's great. I got mates who live here and they've lived here for 20 plus years. They got permanent residency and they're still there. We in Japan indeed. Specifically, we are in Yokohama. I'm just about to return to the hotel because with all the changes and all the shit that happened with Qantas, I had to book a bunch of extra days and that. And I booked an extra day here at this hotel, but the room that we had wasn't available, so I had to book a second room for one night. So I've got to take all of our stuff, put it down in the lobby, and we'll go out for the day, and we'll come back later in the day and then pick it up again. So yeah, that's the place I'm staying at there, the Hotel My Stays. If you're in Japan and you're looking for accommodation that's cheap, that's okay, I would recommend Hotel My Stays. They're a good chain. Hotel Live Max is kind of okay as well. There's a bunch of chains out there. The one I don't recommend is Upper Hotels, run by a weird racist fascist. Super tiny rooms, really crap. Not worth it. Hotels here can be quite cheap, but they are tiny, like absolutely minuscule. You want a Western-sized room, you're going to be paying premium. Papers, please, fashy stuff. Yeah, pretty much. And kind of worse sometimes as well. The weather looks mint. It is. It is really, really nice today. Like, I got the sun on my back right now. Yeah. What, no Motel 6 over there? No, instead you've got, over here you've got Upper Hotel, Hotel Live Max. You've got a bunch of places that they call business hotels, right? Business hotel. Super cheap. You can get them for like sometimes like 30, 40 bucks a night. They're terrible. The really cheap old ones, they're like done back in the Shaw era, smell like tobacco, they're terrible. Normal toilets in Japan, yes, the future of them specifically. Bidets and the washlets are beautiful, nice warmed seats. It's a chilly day today. I sat down this morning and it was perfectly warm. It was lovely. Only thing is they're slightly small and the seats have kind of like an angle to them. It's really weird. Who's got sun on their back? I do, me. There are still squat toilets here, but they are less common. They're more often being replaced. In Germany, you have to register at the local police stations non-German. That was weird for me as an Aussie. Yeah, that is kind of weird. But then again, Japan, same sort of deal. You go to a hotel, you got to hand over your passport. They keep an eye on you everywhere, and the police can and they will stop you and ask you for your passport. Passport o onegaishimasu. So yeah, this is where we're staying at here. Until the 1970s, any immigrant to Germany had to prove German ancestry. You'd think that they would have learnt about the whole, you know, blood ties type thing lesson back in the 30s and 40s. Apparently not. Oh, so look, I'm going to cut it here, guys. But what do you reckon? Should I do the same? Should I do this again tomorrow morning? I'm gonna do the same thing tomorrow, but I'm gonna be a little bit more organised than that. Yeah, take some questions, check out some stuff. I might do a nighttime stream as well sometime. Go out, check out Nizakaya, have some drinks, do some stuff, do all that kind of stuff, just for the hell of it. But yeah, if there's any questions or anything people want, line them up, we'll get to them tomorrow and that. And yeah. And look, you know, unlike you know, some other people out there, I am never above asking for a like and a subscribe and do all the rest of that. And look, in all honesty, I would absolutely appreciate any and all super chats and donations, because why not? Y'all like what I'm doing and all the rest of that. And if you encourage me to do things, I will do more things. And the easiest way to encourage me is always with money. Yeah, I enjoy doing this because it is good fun. I like doing stuff and all of that. I say, won't we, lads? Won't we? Yeah, I'll actually do the proper post up and all the rest of that this time in the thumbnail so people know what's going on. I just did it this morning as an honest test. I was kind of expecting to do it for like 10, 15 minutes tops. I didn't do it for like an hour 20, which, considering my phone battery is like really, really bad, it's like, it's at the point where it needs to be serviced. Yeah, it's held on like a trooper. But this is kind of what you can expect from streams over here and that, because the nice thing is pocket Wi-Fi's, man. Pocket Wi-Fi's work a charm. That's pocket Wi-Fi. You carry it on you. It does. No swatting. And how are you going to spot me in Japan? There ain't no spot here, and if they do, they're just going to turn up and they're going to have like one of those poles with the Lake Crescent Moon on the end of it there. There we go. So yeah, I also figure out how to use this gimbal a bit more so it's not quite so shaky, because it's a bit, I'm used to my old Zhiyun gimbal. This one's a DJI, so I haven't fixed it out. Time flies while streaming. It sure does, especially in a place like this. Alrighty guys, I suppose I'm going to end it out like people do over here in Japan, so catch ya.